All right. Hello from Norris Lake Podcast. This is episode 2. Hello. We're going to be conducting an interview today with Scott Fields, the developer of Deerfield Resort. And he also has a real estate company here. So I'm going to let Scott take it off. He's going to talk about some history about his parents, how they came here, developed it, and just how everything took to fruition. And it's a wonderful place to be. So we'll let you hit it off there, buddy.
Sure. Actually, the family in Tennessee started in 1976. Dad moved us here. He bought Springs Dock and ran it for several years, sold it to the Costello family, who still owns it today. And from there, he sold Ford cars over in Jellicoe and semi-retired. Then one day came home and told my mom, said, I just bought the land out off Sam Claiborne, which is now Deerfield. She was enjoying the retired life, so she looked at me and my sister.
You're on the couch, buddy.
She looked at me and my sister and said, you better go to your room.
Yeah.
So took her about 2 or 3 days. One day she said, take me out to see the property. They moved out here. She never left it until she died in 2001.
That's awesome. Yeah. And your dad was quite a heck of a entrepreneur.
Yeah, he was the most word I ever heard used on him is visionary. Because he could see it. I mean, he'd get his favorite dozer operator and say, follow me. We're cutting a road today. They wouldn't shoot it in or anything. He'd just follow me.
So how many acres are out here?
It started with 800. Then he bought a couple additional properties. At its peak, 1,200 acres.
Nice. How many homes are in Deerfield Resort?
About 500 residences. That includes...
Wow, 500. I didn't know that was many.
That's houses, condos. Some of the hangars have apartments overhead in them. We count all those.
You still have lots for sale out here?
Yeah. The amount of property we have left is minuscule. We sold the last of our lake frontage probably 2010. And the last piece of lakefront that I sold was almost 2 years ago. It's just such a great commodity.
Yeah.
But in the early days, we were out here selling lots, lakefront lots, some of the best ones out here for $15,000 and $20,000. And the sheriff came out one day, put my uncle in the back of the squad car and said, I want to know what you boys are really doing out here to get this kind of money out of this property. It's worthless.
It's called beauty.
And today everyone says, why'd you sell it so cheap?
Yeah.
In fact, the Deer Hill was the last section we bought. My mom said, I do not want you selling this property, Paul. And he said, why not? She said, because you'll sell it too cheap.
Yeah. So, yeah, wow. And I remember the first time I came out here with my significant other, and it was intoxicating. Like, we looked at, I think, 47 properties in 4 days when we came out here to show her Eastern Tennessee. And I was blown away. This road getting in here was hell on earth. I drive a lot of roads for my living, but it scared the shit out of me, that road. But once we looked off that balcony, I went, oh my God, this is it. Like, what a beautiful community.
It's funny. The drive out just kind of tempers you. You think we're in the world. I was 7 years old the first time I rode the road, and I still remember it.
Sliding around in the back vinyl seat of a station wagon, probably. Where's the beef?
So the resort is basically on Norris Lake, and there's 800 plus, what is it, 820 miles of shore?
I've heard as many as 880. You can basically take Norris Lake, stretch it out, and stretch it around Florida. That's how many miles of shoreline.
It's incredible. And what color would you say the water?
Emerald green.
Yeah, it's emerald green.
Jade.
Once you're in it, you can
Jade.
see to your feet. It's that clear.
It's arguably one of the clearest lakes in the nation, at least this side of the Mississippi.
I heard through the intranet that it's the third cleanest lake in North America.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know if that's
Through the internet.
We try to keep it
absolutely
clean.
true or not, but it's a very clean lake.
Yeah. So, other than the Deerfield Resort, your father developing it, along with your mother, there's also McCloud Mountain.
Yes.
You want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah,
Because it's a great thing up there, too.
McCloud was kind of it was his side project. He started out with about 7 partners, narrowed it down to 2, really started developing on it in about 2009. Built a restaurant in 2010, and it was very successful for several years. Unfortunately, COVID took away all of our employees. It became impossible to staff it. So we've converted it into an events and wedding venue. So it's done pretty good.
Are you still finding that keeping employees on your staff kind of still tough?
Oh, it's terrible.
We us as well. I mean, it's very hard.
It's across the board.
There's just a different demeanor.
We were having that in Vegas too at the limo company. We're having to pay our drivers about two times more than any other limo company to get people off the couch to come to work. So it really hurt our profits.
There's a different demeanor about it. People just feel like they should be given everything.
They
don't want to come to work, and you just give them a check.
generation.
Yeah,
you know?
people are very much entitled. Everybody thinks they're going to be a TikToker or a YouTuber. I think a small amount of them, but then people just got lazy. You can't give people free money to pay their bills. It's not going to be a good outcome in the
But
long run.
I'm seeing hope in Gen Z. You're a little out of Gen Z.
I technically am, I think, because I'm not a millennial. Millennial cut off at I think 96.
Yeah, but I'm seeing a lot of Gen Z Gen Z's putting it in.
I don't know how you keep up with that stuff. I can't keep up with it. I can't keep up with it. So here in the resort, you guys offer a lot of amenities.
Yeah, we have everything from we started out, first boat show Dad and Mom went to, everybody said, do you have a swimming pool? I said, no, we're at a lake. We don't need a swimming pool.
We'll have one next week, though.
The next year we went back to the next boat show and said, yeah, we got a swimming pool. They said, do you have a restaurant?
That's a
We
vision.
had a restaurant.
So
How many
went
pools
back-
you have here?
There are 3. There's one for the general public of Deerfield and 2 that are attached
You
to
mean
condo
my pool?
complexes. Yeah, your pool in your backyard.
Your
and then
extended yard.
It has a playground. They have the tennis courts, which now are called the pickleball courts. That's the official term, right? Pickleball courts. It seems to attract a lot of people to it.
Yeah.
So we immediately started getting retired pilots from different airlines, and we had a dirt airstrip. Realized pretty quickly we were going to need that dirt airstrip as a roadway, so we picked what was the worst piece of property in here, bought all the equipment, and Dad and I and some other workers built an airport. When he got finished with that, he said, well, we got all this equipment, we got all these people working, what else can we build? And he came up with the bright idea of a golf course. So we did ourselves build a golf course. We didn't hire anybody from the outside.
Golf course too.
18-hole championship course designed by Bobby Clampett.
Yes. I can't figure out if I like the front 9 better than the back 9 or
I like the front 9 because
the
it's
back
more wide
9
open.
Yeah, the back is tight.
I remember when I golfed it with you before me and Andrea lived here. You know, I came out to register my car out here and out of La Follette, and I'm not a strong golfer, but I remember walking away going, "That's a friggin' nice golf course."
Yeah,
Well, like, you know what I mean? Like I don't really know much about golf, and I can't hit a golf ball to save my life, but it was a friggin' nice golf course.
Another fun thing about it is anybody on the lake can boat to the marina, unload the bags. The golf course will pick you up there, bring you up for a round of golf.
Ridiculous.
So, what's your favorite? Do you play a lot of golf?
I don't play much.
Okay.
I spent too much time building a golf course. It's like a pizza guy never eats pizza.
Special
busy.
delivery.
Too
So
busy.
the infamous hole. Well, I don't know.
Number
which-
3 is the most infamous on there because you got to cross the lake twice.
across the lake, and you know what? It's not that far across that lake, but every ball is in the middle of that lake. Funny story, real quick. So Marge and I started playing.
Yep.
We did the couples golf, and they do it every other Friday. So she's marking the balls and just putting a black M on the balls, and if you turn it upside down, it's got a W. Well, I'm like, well, she's brilliant.
Smart
On that
balls.
third hole, every time we play couples golf, we must put 15 or 20 balls in there. So each year, Scott has a festival. It's the fall festival or the spring festival, where people come out and just kind of a vendor's fair kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the first year we bought Deerfield Vacation Rentals, everybody set up, and who was the guy? I can't remember his name. Anyway, he's selling golf balls over there. He had a big milk crate full of them. He goes, I'll give them to you for $15. I said, the way I'm going through them, and Marge over here, yeah, we'll take them. So we start digging through them. Guess what?
Lots of M's and
A
W's.
lot of M's and W's on there. And I'm like, I'm buying back my own damn golf balls. It's funny in hell, but
Kind
So
of
anyway.
like what's going on with the government right now.
so anyway, I just thought that was crazy, but we're still losing balls there. But anyway, so I got a question about the airstrip.
Okay.
the original one, is that the road that we're on, Deerfield Way?
Yeah, Deerfield Way, the flat
Where
that goes out from
Phil's-
the office.
Okay,
Yeah.
it goes
No
right past
kidding.
our buildings.
I
Yeah.
will still refer to it for the rest of my life as the old airstrip. If I ever say the old airstrip, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
That's the
And-
one that was dirt.
Yeah.
Guess
Okay.
what the pool used to be?
What?
The flat for the pool used to be a Sam's hangar, correct?
There was a full hangar
No
building there.
way.
We built the pool inside of the hangar,
Oh wow!
but then figured out it costs thousands of dollars to heat the pool in the shade.
so you tore the structure.
So we tore it down.
That is funny. No
Nice.
way. Okay.
And there
What-
used to be a whirlpool up there too, right?
There was.
Yeah, wow.
What year did the second airstrip where the paved one up top is? What year did that one get built?
It's going to be about 1989, 1990.
Okay. And they built all the hangars at that time too, or that?
All
came
those
later?
were individuals. We just sold the lots. They built their own hangar.
Ah, got it. Okay.
Nice.
And then what about McCloud? Touch on McCloud. Like you say,
And for
say we
anybody
wanna go up there
watching
and have a
here,
wedding.
if you see hands moving under the table, there's a dog here, and he comes over for some petting. So
Sorry, we have Dobermans.
nothing
everybody.
bad's going on under the table.
Hands
Yes.
above the table?
Aside from petting a dog.
Sorry, we have Dobermans. They're lovers. Sorry. So if we want to go up and have an event, say book a band or have a wedding, what does it cost to rent McCloud?
I would refer you off to Tyler for that.
Got it. Okay.
Honestly, as a venue, we're one of the cheapest in the region right now because we're new and we have to grow.
Yeah.
People that look at our pricing right now, I mean, we'll rent you a whole weekend for like $6,000.
Oh wow.
That's dirt cheap in venue terms.
Yeah.
Especially for a wedding.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
weekdays, of course, are cheap. You get into October, we start booking up.
Man.
Yeah, because you're up on top of the mountain there, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
can just see
Leafland.
it is
Phenomenal view.
nothing but leaves, and you can see the lake from up there.
Yeah.
Quick story, if you don't mind telling it. Was it last year or the year before last when we were at the Cincinnati Boat Show and Tyler showed me that path from the top of the mountain down the side?
We had
That's what that was.
we had a rain that was just off. This big storm cell set down over top of La Follette and puked out something like 11 inches of rain in an hour. Flooded places that never been flooded before, and the head of that was right on top of McCloud. And the next day, I mean, my poor guard at the bottom, he said his building nearly washed over the hill, and there were like huge ruts 2 feet deep all around the building. But on top, we noticed that there were some rocks missing. So somebody called me from the valley and said, go up to Fincastle and look toward McCloud. And there was a road coming off of it. So at the bottom of that is an event center owned by the Myers family. So I called Lee Myers and I said, I'm missing some rock. Have you seen them? He said, my God, Daddy would have it'd been like Christmas for him. There's rocks everywhere.
That's funny. It was just he showed a picture of it from the ground, looking up, and it's just a path.
Yeah. Took trees,
You're like-
took everything.
I was like, are they clear that out to put up some pylons or something? He goes, no, it was a big old rock.
Big
too.
freaking rock.
They can get some weather out here for sure.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Wow.
That's Funko calling. Fun Uncle. We call him Funko. He's actually selling around the
He launched out
Panhandle
of
of-
Florida, didn't he?
yeah. So he's out there somewhere. We're gonna get him on here for long. They're on a six month tour.
Out
Yeah.
in the
He's a
Atlantic
little
Ocean.
Gilligan.
Good Lord. I don't think I could ever do that. I've been on a cruise ship once.
A cruise is great for about 5 or 6 days. If you stay on there 8, it's too much.
Yeah, but these little boats, like your Uncle Crunkle or whoever, Mikey Uncle, like, dude, what's he on? Like a 30-foot boat
46 footer.
and
sailboat.
going out for 6 months? Are you out of your
Well, they-
friggin' mind?
Port. They go to marinas and stay the night.
I know, but still, sharks, dude, sharks.
Yeah. He's got some excellent stories. We're gonna have him on here.
Yeah, we should do it remotely through the.
Yeah, we're gonna figure
because
that
he's gonna
out.
be gone for 6 months. Yeah, we'll get. Does he have a iPhone?
I don't know. I'll have to ask him.
Well, it'll be pretty easy. We'll
Yeah.
just put him up on the screen over here, as
Yeah.
long as he's got good internet.
So, back to what do we got coming up here? May 30th, May-ish?
Really, the year will start off in Deerfield with what we call a polar plunge.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the polar plunge.
March 22nd is the closest Saturday to the first day of spring.
So
we
we
get
it was somebody's birthday.
that was last year.
Okay.
But no, we'll line up and I'll jump in the water real quickly. It's water be about 45 degrees to 50 degrees somewhere in there. So it's fun.
Yeah,
It makes me hurt in the waist area to hear this.
Yeah.
The Tiki Club opens the weekend after that. That's their earliest opening ever. They're going to open up for March Madness basketball games. First real event of the season will be the weekend, the Saturday before Memorial Day. We'll have a vendor fair. And we'll have food trucks, different stuff like we usually do.
Yeah. When are you going to have your next Cars and Coffee? Because you had your first annual and it went great.
It went wonderful. And this is another one of those weird years where the 4th of July hits on a Friday.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, so we always do our events the Saturday before the 4th, but it's just too far away.
It is, isn't it?
So we'll do our vendor fair the day after the 4th on the 5th. So, again, we'll do the Cars and Coffee the Saturday before the 4th of July.
Thank you for doing that, because I do love coffee and I absolutely love cars. And for the first one, you knocked it out of the park.
I think everybody
Will you have
did.
a picture of your car? I thought you did.
Not in here, no.
Oh, not in here.
But man, I'm so glad you did that. Like,
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
thought there was gonna be maybe like 8 cars. Like, holy
Leash,
crap!
yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah,
And
by
the fun
time-
thing was everybody wanted me to invite the local car clubs from La Follette.
Yeah.
And they're great guys. There's some great clubs. But I said, no, I want it to be lake people. And I'd like for it to be again this year, but we've got to call some of the other resorts around just
Yeah,
so we
we
can all
do.
mingle together.
Combine, yeah, strength in numbers for sure. Yeah.
Get some other marinas involved.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah,
and make it known that it's not a Deerfield only thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yes,
make sure I
I-
have this right. Didn't mean to interrupt. So you're going to have the Cars and Coffee the weekend before the 4th.
Yeah.
And then the vendor fair on the day of
It likes to be on the 5th.
be on the 5th, Saturday the 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, the fireworks, which are amazing.
The
They-
fireworks were actually, they always, my dad passed away on July the 3rd as the fireworks were going off one year. And the next year, Mom said, can we please do it again on the 3rd? And we all agreed yes. But more often than not, they hit on the 3rd. It's just a convenient day for it. The 4th doubles the price.
Oh,
So, and this year I called the fireworks company. I said, this is great. The 4th is on a Friday. I want Saturday. He said, it's going to be doubled also.
oh. So a big shout out
Right.
to what?
Pyro shows.
Pyro-
They do a
it's not
fantastic.
pyro
One right
shows.
down here in La Follette.
Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
downtown. Started out downtown La Follette.
Right.
They are the biggest or the second biggest fireworks company in America, possibly the world.
Yeah, they do.
kidding.
Yeah, they
Wow.
do major shows. They did the 4th of July in Washington, D.C. one year, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah.
They do lots of football programs. They do the Titans. Of course, they do University of Tennessee. They did Georgia's.
Go Vols.
Go Vols.
But now they've got offices all over now.
So
And-
we're having that event on Saturday, which I highly recommend, the fireworks. And then, are we doing pig roast?
We always do the pig roast if there's extra money left over from the fireworks.
And
So-
that's in the fall.
Yeah.
Labor Day.
Last year, last year's pig roast was so bad. I don't know if I ever want to do another one. It rained cats and dogs, but we went ahead and
We still
we
had-
barbecued them anyway.
We
I
still
know.
had a phenomenal turnout.
It was a great turnout, but most
was-
people were running with umbrellas saying, "Give me some food," and then they run. It wasn't as community organizing. Yeah,
The first year we did it was 2 or 3 years ago.
2 years ago.
And basically, Scott put out an invitation to everyone and had everyone bring a side dish.
Poo poo platter.
And
Yep.
I had my little smoker up there. He had his humongous smoker. He had 45 butts in that smoker, with still room to show.
Whoa.
I smoked cheese, chicken, drum roll, donuts.
Donuts are the
Yeah,
best.
Gosh, they
Crispy
were phenomenal.
Cream smoked donuts.
And then
Wow.
Rick took care of
My arteries are
the
hurting.
pig, and
He did a
I
whole
had
hog.
never seen a pig smoked the way he did it. What he did, he opened up the whole belly and stuffed it full of sauerkraut and tied it up. And man, it was delicious. But
Wow.
what would you think? I would say 400 people were there.
Easily, if not 5.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
the line went all the way down the grass by the
Yeah.
fence, and
Yeah,
I looked up a couple of times, and it stayed that way.
And that's why we decided we had to simplify it.
Yeah.
We went to this past year. It wasn't potluck. It was just we've got barbecue, we've got beans, slaw,
Yeah.
and the line would have gone a lot faster
Yeah.
if people had shown up.
Yeah, it just made it a lot easier, though, on everyone else. Because we started, about 1 or noon 2 years ago, and it was 11 o'clock till we were finished getting cleaned up and everything.
Yep.
It was.
It's a chore. It's a
It
labor
was-
of love, is what it is.
Yes, it is. So that'll be pending. But
If
that
it,
would
if
be
it
Labor
happens,
Day weekend.
Yeah, if it happens, it'll probably be the Saturday before Labor Day.
But we're going to have another festival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll still have
both
that.
times we had the festival in the morning
Yeah.
and bounce houses and all kinds of fun stuff.
Oh yeah, and especially for the little kiddies.
Yeah.
The zoo.
Yeah,
There's a
zoo.
petting zoo.
Ponderosa
What?
petting zoo.
Petting zoo shows up. Yeah.
What, you hire a
cool.
company? Where are they out of Knoxville?
They're all in Clinton, aren't they?
They're between Knoxville and Clinton. Yeah, but there's some connection with a homeowner here in the Ponderosa. I can't
Ponderosa.
tell you exactly what it is, but yeah, they show up with goats and turtles and all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Insurance
And there's
liability.
face painting.
Don't touch
we
the
did face
Cobra,
painting
kids.
one year. It's just a good thing for the kids. A little story about that. So my grandson Noah, was it last year? He was so, Papa, I got to do something. Papa, I got to do something. Papa, I got to do. I'm like, okay, you can sell water. So I said, here's a case of water. Just put it out there and just started handing it to people because they need something to drink. Okay. Not knowing that he would say, here, take this water, and hand it to someone and say, after they took it and opened it up, he goes, that's $2.
Oh, the salesman. It sounds like
He was
1999 Woodstock.
going- So it went from selling water to, Papa, when you going to get me a popcorn machine?
Oh,
I'm like, a popcorn machine?
Lord.
Lucky Terry had a popcorn machine. He was up there in one of the barns and he didn't, want it. I'm like, here's your popcorn machine. No, now what are you going to do with it? I'm going to make popcorn and I'm going to sell popcorn on fireworks. He says, all those people coming here,
He's a little
And
entrepreneur.
sit at that lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to sell popcorn.
Really?
See, there's some hope in the younger generation.
Yes, there is.
But his mind is like 30 seconds and he makes $2 and puts it in his pocket. He's burning a hole in it already. And he sidetracks and he wanders off and he's doing something else. He's got his money in his pocket. He's happy with it.
Shop
So,
for us,
yeah.
man. I don't worry because my wallet's fat. So talk about you have a coffee shop coming up.
I do.
Yeah. Are you
Yes,
gonna
I plan on having it open April, May.
Yeah.
I want to have it up and running by the festival, especially cars and coffee.
That's news to me.
Yes.
So,
So
you're doing a
you're-
coffee shop.
So
Yeah,
he's doing
my
cars
equipment's
and
supposed to-
coffee. He's having real cars. You're going to do coffee and cars. So you're going to have like little
So you're
Hot
going to be my
Wheels in your
coffee
thing?
vendor?
Yes, what I
Uh-oh.
plan on. I don't
I think
want.
we
I
just
don't
did a
think I'm
business
going to
deal.
charge for it. I just
You got to charge your friends and family because your
no.
enemies won't do
I just
business
want to
with
get them
you.
in the door. I want to get them in the door.
Yeah.
Kind of like a grand opening kind of thing. Get them in the door. I saw something at a Starbucks in Vegas last week. They have a push cart. Like you seen those popcorn machines where you can push them on a little cart?
Mm-hmm.
They had a coffee for iced coffee and hot coffee.
Miniature coffee cart. I've
Yes,
seen those.
and on a little cart, and I'm like, how can I get that out of here? But it
See?
wouldn't fit on the plane.
You're going to do like just brewed coffee, or are you going to do lattes, things like that?
Yep.
Awesome.
Lattes, frappes, iced coffee, macchiatos, cappuccinos, just regular coffee.
Do I have to say venti?
No, you
Okay.
don't.
Small, medium, large,
Small,
please.
medium, large. Or it might just be one size fits all.
Talk to Tyler when he gets back from Iowa. He just met a company that will set you up in a program if you're looking for one.
I am, because Margaret and I just talked about
It's not cabin coffee.
trying to
is it?
find a distributor.
No idea. He was sitting in his hotel room board and looked at the coffee pot, called him.
Yeah, you know what? I'll hook you up with Mike Momberg, a friend of mine. He was a developer building homes out in Grafton, Iowa, Mason City, Iowa area, and he got involved. He stopped building houses. He's building cabin coffee. It looks like a log cabin. He's got 8 of them. There's I think 3 of them up in Minnesota, and then the rest are 5 or 6 down in Minnesota.
Nice.
Or down in Iowa. I mean, the 3 of them are up in Minnesota. But I think you can either be, if you don't do the brick and mortar, you can buy the supplies from him. It's a phenomenal coffee.
Yeah,
You
I'd
need
lo-
someone to come in and teach you how to do it.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
You don't want just 7-Eleven or Shell.
You know how many
gas
pictures
station
I've
coffee.
taken of those people at Starbucks? Filmed them.
You're not going to have the machine where you push the button and hold it.
No.
Yeah, Starbucks is such a ridiculous, overly inflated addiction. It's crazy.
It's not
So-
even coffee; it's sugar.
Yeah, and
It's sugar.
We're
Good
going to
point,
do ice
yeah.
cream as well, but I was going to name it Deerfield Java and ice cream, but while I was in Vegas, I came up with the name Deer Bucks.
I like it.
Deer bucks.
Deer Bucks.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
Do
Cool.
it. Do
Yeah.
it, dude.
So anyway,
What else about the Fields real estate? Did we touch on your real estate?
We're here inside the resort. We've sold real estate since the place opened.
Yeah.
We're on a lot of the listing side. Of course, it's real estate. Anybody can come in and buy and sell, but more often than not, I have the listings of places in Deerfield. I've got actually quite a few listings right now because the market is starting to heat up again. It's been dead.
So was everything. The economy was dead. It was falling apart. Now we're doing all right.
Yeah.
so would you say it was, from our end, I think it's saturated.
You still have people looking. Prices are inflated.
They are crazy.
But now, I'm going to say around the election, from early October until mid-January, my phone didn't ring at all. We had nobody wanting to list, nobody wanting to buy. Middle of January, it lit up, and I've been busy with it ever since.
Yep.
Interest rates have to come down a little bit to really fire up the market, and I
Yep.
think that's hopefully in our future.
It's going to take
Yeah.
some time. And in our industry in rock and roll, we've got people, tour managers, calling and reserving buses 2, 3, 4 years from now.
Great.
Where the last administration that was in, won't say anything good or bad, but people were dropping tours and drivers were looking for work. That's how bad it got, because people were afraid to spend money. And same thing with you guys with your rentals. It's just like Scott with his real estate, or rock and roll, or you sell donuts, whatever it is. An economy, like, when it fails, and you guys are a luxury item. I saw that happen with our limousine business when our fuel hit $6.50 a gallon out in Las Vegas. Do I go to Vegas or I feed the kids? I feed the kids. It's the same with renting houses or going to rock and roll
The
shows.
people are always going to go on vacation, though. Even
They will, but when it gets to the point where I might lose my job or the economy is getting so bad, like you got to tighten up, So I think you guys are going to have a phenomenal year this year. I really do.
2020 especially, Tennessee was not
Affected by the pandemic.
we were not.
Can I say? Am I allowed to say that?
We were not scolded if we didn't social distance, and
Yeah.
this lake filled up to a level I've never seen. I mean, wall to wall people every weekend, way into November.
That's crazy. Holy
2021 was more of the same.
cow. Yeah.
Then 22 went back to a little bit more of normal, and then 23, 24,
Yeah.
it's what we were used to.
Yep. Yeah. It's gonna come around, though. I truly believe that. I think we're gonna be all right.
And it also helps when you're not paying $5+ a gallon on the water.
Yeah.
It helps out a lot.
And thank goodness Dash out here is pricing their gas with town.
Yeah.
So even if you want to save money on that, you fill up your 5-gallon jugs, go out to Dash, fill them up with gas.
The dash number 3.
So here in the resort, we also have Deerfield Marina.
Mm-hmm.
It's Brian owns.
Brian and Joe Whited,
There's so many different entities.
yeah, they do the best job of that tiki that I've ever seen, though.
Oh,
They're-
no, the tiki
Joe
bar.
Joe is a stereotypical girl dad. He protects his waitresses. The quality's always great, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's a nice environment to be in. Used to be once it got dark, you got out of there with your kids,
Well, that's when people like me would come off the lake.
and then
Hide
And
the
it'd be like
children.
1 o'clock in the night, and the place was still hopping.
Deerside Market, just outside of the resort, has just come on wonderfully.
Yes, it has.
Built a bar a couple years ago. There's a great place to hang out.
Living the dream.
Yeah, Living the Dream Bar. Should have been a Heath Bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
That would've
the winery has been an incredible addition. It's
Yeah.
been there for about probably 8 or 9 years now. They do a phenomenal job, and Dash about a mile out. So yeah, more and more retail establishments are growing up around us because we're big. We need it.
Yeah. So on this side of the lake, well, I wouldn't say this side of the lake. I would say in this area, we have Sugar Hollow. That's on the way to the jumping bridge.
That's your bar. That's a great bar to go to.
It sure is.
Has
They
a,
have great bands there.
The bar was actually designed by a Disney Imagineer.
Oh, he was it?
Yeah, so it looks
Now
like
that
a
was
pirate
that when
ship. Yeah.
was that when
Really?
Charlie owned it?
Yeah, that's when Charlie owned it.
I always wondered, because I remember the first time going in there, we rented, it was before we lived here. Remember we rented that
Oh yes, I
pontoon
do.
boat from Oasis Water Sports.
Yes.
and we tied up over there. And I
Yeah.
walked in there going, "What the hell?" And
Yeah.
It's a
is
pirate
Disney
ship
thing,
theme.
isn't it?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So you walk in the bar, just try to visual this.
Yeah.
You're looking back toward the bar, and there's a big pirate ship up there,
Yeah, that's very cool.
and a big pirate looks like, I don't know what's that guy's name? Blackbeard.
Yeah.
Something like that. Then we have Shanghai Marina,
Which is more of a sit-down, nice meal
Yes.
with the best gift shop on the lake.
and they got
Bar
great.
none.
They're good food, great boutique stores. We have Sugar Hollow. Springs Dock.
Springs is the best burger on the lake.
Oh yes, that is like you go to old fashioned. The way they used to make burgers, man, it's pretty good. And I would say probably the cheapest gas on the lake. Wouldn't you say?
Typically, they
He
try to
always
be the
makes it a
cheapest on the
point.
lake.
Mr. Costello does. Up around the corner around it is called the Peninsula, and that's where you have all the multi-million-dollar homes. There's what's the guy's name? Mark. He's from Cincinnati. Anyway, he built a home there on the point,
From
on the
Dayton.
main point. Yeah, Dayton. And he was one of
Larry-
the guys
Larry
that went up
Connors.
in the spaceship. Larry Connors. That's it. I think Mark every time. Mark.
Yeah,
I mean, the numbers are in the neighborhood of $17 to $18 million he put into it. I think it's a gorgeous house.
It
well,
is.
if you look at the assessment, the property price assessment on Zillow, it's about 24.
Wow.
It's probably shot up there. Other than that, there's really nothing else around here. Unless I'm missing something.
There's
but
some
if you-
good sized resorts. We're the largest. We are, we got security out front. We have
Yeah, I forgot
we have
about the art
more
shop.
amenities than anybody else. The others are more neighborhoods. And you do down at Twin Cove. They do have like I forget what you call it, like a resort pool that's got different features to it. It's really nice.
Yes. Yeah, we failed to
Where
mention the
is Twin
volleyball.
Cove from here?
Twin Cove is just off the interstate.
Got it.
They're actually the closest you can get to Norris Lake from the interstate. It's less than 5 minutes. But they also always tell people, yeah, they're close, but they've got narrow lake until they get out into the main channel.
Got it.
By boat, what do you think? 45 minutes to an hour?
Yeah, about
It just
an hour.
depends how
Close to an
fast you're
hour.
going.
Have you ever been all the way around this lake in a boat?
On one trip?
Yeah, I was warned by a couple different people when we bought our
I don't know
pontoon
if you
boat,
could do it
do
unless
not
you're in a
stray
one of those
very
boats that's
far
going-
away.
Yeah, if you're on a bass boat or a speed boat or cigar boat or something like that, maybe. But you have to be
Yeah.
hauling ass, man.
I've been here since 1976. I haven't seen it all. We try
Man,
every year we make a
crazy.
goal that we're going to eat at every restaurant on the lake. We got to within 3 last year.
Wow.
We were so close.
How many marinas are there on Norris Lake?
Yeah, close
Is
to
there?
20.
A little further up is Flat Hollow.
Mm-hmm.
You got Stardust.
Yeah, well, that's up the other way, but I can't. What am I? Why I'm drawing a brain fart.
Because you were in Vegas. You just went to Vegas. Well, let it go.
The Bardot's just bought it from before Flat Hollow.
Oh, Powell Valley.
Powell Valley.
Powell Valley was the worst marina on the lake. No one would argue about it.
It was sinking.
It was awful.
What do you got, Tie Stick?
Norris Lake has a total of 22 marinas.
22
22
marinas.
marinas.
Holy cow.
Apparently, 2 of the best ones are in Anderson County, Tennessee, Sequoia, and
Stardust.
Stardust.
That's the only other one in Anderson.
yeah,
Oh, there's a
Wow.
Rainbows up there now. That's in Anderson County. It has to be.
Rainbow actually went out several years ago. They
It went out. What do you
they
mean?
took out the dock to do a resort, and the resort failed.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So the property's gone through foreclosure a couple times, but there are now houses there, and the marina is slowly growing back. I've noticed there's like 2 or 3 big slips in there. There's about 5 or 6 floating cabins on the lake.
Nice. Well, is there anything else we want to bring up here, Scott?
Trying to think of other things. I mean, this is about Norris Lake. I mean, there's other fireworks shows on the 4th. Flat Hollow does a show typically a week before the 4th of July. Shanghai always aims to have theirs on the Saturday before the 4th. That's probably the biggest show on the water. And just our show is big, but we shoot, a firework every couple seconds, and they're all big shells. There's some waterborne ones. It's a beautiful show.
It is.
Shanghai spends at least twice as much of us, and it's just rapid fire.
Yeah.
For 20 minutes.
Real quick, if you don't mind, tell them what happened with the barge, because I think it's kind of funny. So just to set it up.
We used to shoot it from a peninsula over on Deerfield, and
I know where it's
probably 5 or 6 years ago, there were some bad shells out there. The whole fireworks community knew about them. They were big 6-inchers, which is about the biggest we shoot at the lake. And some of them were just exploding, and one of ours did.
Oh, on the barge?
No, this one we did it from land.
Okay.
So it's sitting there on land, boats all around it, my slip over to the side. This thing explodes. The whole rack falls over and fires at one time.
No.
And was shooting over and under boats. Had it fallen the
funny
other
now.
Yeah, had it fallen the other direction, it would have taken out my marina. So we decided to put it on barges from now on.
I like it better that way.
It's so much better.
It is.
Yeah.
We should probably get a lot
They
more
float.
glow off the water.
Well, the great
too,
thing
I bet,
about it
right?
is we can put it where we want it,
You
and
can
we
keep it away from everyone.
yeah, and we put it to where the most homes can see it from their balconies,
Nice.
which is Deerfield Cove is just lined with houses and
It
condos.
is. So how many lots are available that are empty that people could look
Gosh.
at to purchase?
I'd have to sit down with a map to do that. Right now, on the
I mean, is it like 10, 20, 30?
ones that
Or
I
is
have
it
left
just
is probably less than 30. Right now, we've got probably a dozen lots on the market, and about a dozen houses and condos.
Nice.
And that's just us reselling. The properties we own, we don't push them hard. They're always there and can be sold, but we push other people's first.
Awesome.
Are you getting any traction on Lois's up here? It's a beautiful home.
It really is. It's we're starting to, like I said, things got really good into January, 1st of February, and it's done nothing but snow, rain, just cruddy weather ever since. So yeah, we had a couple slow weeks, and we hope it picks up.
I think it's probably done. But there's always that every few years in April, late April, we'll get like snow.
Cold blast. Yeah.
Snow.
Anytime anybody,
snow.
whenever we get into March and somebody says, "Well, we're past it," I'm like,
Yeah.
remember '93?
Yes.
No,
That's the first year I moved to Knoxville. The interstates were closed.
everything was
Oh, my
closed.
It was
God.
closed. I mean, just
Please
not for
not
a
this
day.
year. I'm over
No.
it.com. I'm ready for summer.
Yeah, me
/.org.
Today was a really nice little reminder of
Yeah.
what's to come.
Yeah.
Oh, I know something I'd like for you to touch on. You have some pets?
Trump.
I've got a chocolate lab, a little sheepoo, and a bunch of deer. In 2020, I raised a deer whose mom was hit by a car or disappeared somehow, and named her Princess Buttercup. And she's been a joy.
She's the only deer around here that has a collar.
Yeah, she wears a Seresto
Yeah,
collar.
Is
and
that a flea tick collar?
It is.
Essentially, it is.
It's a Seresto collar, and it works.
I saw her jumping through your fence, your electric fence that opens up.
I've got that box in it that
It's-
used to have I had a silhouette of deer in it,
Yeah.
and it got taken out by a storm, so that's their emergency entrance.
Did you teach them how to do that? Or
No,
just
they
figured
just
it out?
figured it out.
Did all the other non-pet deers in Deerfield jump in there too and have
No.
a deer party? Or
Never
No,
seen any of
she's
those in
very
That's
she's
crazy.
very protective over that property.
I have
Really?
learned that deer travel with their own families, and they don't like the other families.
Really?
No.
Wow. We should be careful about talking about deer in this household. We've been involved in 3 deer hits in the last 3 weeks,
Yeah.
3.5 weeks.
So she's had how many?
The first
Baby deer?
the first year that she bred, she had twins. The second year she had 1. Then the third year she had 2 again. Now
Crazy.
I've got 3, her and 3 of her does that live in the fence and come and go. But yeah,
That's awesome.
we could
So awesome.
This could be like compound interest really quick.
Yeah,
Are you,
careful.
Are you paying support?
Deer support.
Yeah.
Deer support.
Call 1-800.
We need a corn fund.
Yeah, totally. Right. Well, good stuff. And what about you, Walt? You got anything else you got to add?
No.
Coffee
just look
shop
forward to
coming
the.
soon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to the next episode.
You guys booking up for the summer?
Yes, we are.
Wonderful.
Yeah. It's going fairly well right now.
I told you you're gonna have a phenomenal sold out summer.
We
dude.
we
Just you
lost some
wait.
homes this past year, but it's not due to anything we've done. People are just selling
Yeah.
and selling
Yeah.
out or retiring.
Or like
Most
people
of them
like us,
retired,
you guys were handling our house for
Yeah.
a minute, and now we decided to move, and now here we are. So sorry.
Yeah, we also picked up a couple. You
Yeah.
know, so
Well, I will always tell everybody that comes in here, yes, you can VRBO, yes, you can Airbnb, but there's nothing like your all's program. And it's good for the community because sometimes we got some hellions in there.
yes.
And it's so nice for me to call and say, hey, Margie, are you handling the rental of this one? And she says yes. I'm like, thank God.
Oh, you mean when
I don't
it's
have
like
to call the
yeah.
police.
Oh, do you mean when people are throwing chairs off
Yeah.
decks and doing like a college football party kind of thing, kind of vibe? Yeah.
It's also, I don't see how the Airbnb people do it because if a toilet breaks in the middle of the night, the homeowner's up in Dayton, Ohio.
Right.
How do you get it serviced?
Yeah, how do you get service?
Well,
Yeah.
you know, like
House over by.
probably the third year we're into it, we had Airbnb, Vacasso, VRBO people showing up trying to check in.
Yeah.
in our office,
Yeah.
and we're like, we don't have your name here.
But we can have
and
your
the
name.
lady goes, here's the email, and he says right here to check in at your office.
Really?
That's where they were directing their folks to come check in.
That's
our
not good
office,
for
and we're
customer
like,
experience. How did that happen?
We can't help
Yeah.
You could do that as a business model, though.
you. I just thought, man, they got to get their
Again, for the cameras
That's
at home,
somebody's
I'm
vacation.
bouncing
You
around because
were
of a
you
dog.
monkeying around on your laptop one night and cross-pollinated with Airbnb or Picasso
No,
or
it
something?
happened.
How did that happen?
It was really interesting.
Wow.
Because the same things happen in threes.
Yep.
One person showed up, he thought, oh, that's a fluke. Somebody showed up again and again. Next person, you're like,
Weird.
what's going on?
Wow.
Marge's on the phone. So we got it straightened out, though.
That's crazy. All right.
You know, there's sometimes that I talk business while we're on a podcast, but whenever I do Airbnbs, there's usually a check-in office. You could be that check-in office
I have to,
for a fee.
yeah.
Hey, check that out.
Because we got rid of VRBO and Vacasa
Mhm.
because the rates were just outrageous. We do use Airbnb as a filler. But we also let folks know that when they check in, if they check in through Airbnb, we can save them a few $100s if they went directly through us.
Nice.
They don't have to pay all the processing fees
Yeah.
and all that. But
Shh, don't tell anybody.
yeah, that's the next episode. But
Quiet.
I don't have anything left.
Oh, I think we're all good. Unless you got to add something.
I'm good. Summer's
All right.
coming.
Yeah, summer's coming.
Yeah,
I think
can-
we're looking at having Joe and Emily on from the Tiki Hut.
Great.
Yep.
They'll be here at the end of March.
The guy from Norris Dam.
Norris Dam's coming on.
Get us a tour.
Oh, I want
Yeah,
to do a
we're-
tour so
I
bad.
talked to him
That'd be
about
so
that on the
cool.
Yeah, we need to.
Yeah. Uncle Mike, maybe. We'll have to see how we can do that remotely. But we got a few folks coming on. Terry and Anna from Deerside Market.
Yep.
We'll get to them. And we're just going to, whoever else we need to
Yep.
have on.
Yep. Just slowly build it. Oh,
But,
good.
so what's your website?
DeerfieldResort.com. That is just kind of a site into the resort. There's a link there to my real estate company, which is fieldsreal.com. And, of course, McCloud, if anybody wants to see that about events and venues, MTCLOUD, mountcloud.com.
Nice. Love it.
Phenomenal spot. We had lunch there once before we lived here and looked over the edge. I was like, holy crap.
I hate that
This
it's
is-
not a restaurant anymore. But
It's so
gosh,
cool.
Unless
It's so much
unless
fun.
someone out in the internet wants to come open up a restaurant, I'm out of the restaurant business.
Yeah, the restaurant business is tough.
I mean, it's in a phenomenal spot for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's unreal.
But-
yeah,
It's gonna take a little bit of work to get it
Yeah.
back up and running
yeah.
proper.
Proper.
All right, I'm going to wrap it up here.
All right,
So
wrap it
everyone, you can go to norrislakepodcast.com.
Amen.
Take you to our website.
Yes, sir.
You can listen to our podcast on the audio. It goes on Spotify as a video and YouTube as a video. Those are the only two sites you can listen to or watch a video. All the other ones, what is it? Amazon,
Mhm.
Apple.
Apple.
There's a bunch of others.
I'll have Tyler put a link to it on the
subsidiaries.
Deerfield site also.
Okay.
Cool.
You could listen to that audio. So when you guys are driving into Norris Lake and
Yeah,
listen
man.
to the audio and
You get educated on the water.
get educated on the water.
Damn straight.
All right.
See you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.